And we're on a podcast.
Yes. Dude, we haven't been in the studio in so long.
I know. I'm like excited to be back. And you were just gone for
2 weeks.
a long
I
time.
was gone for a long time. Yeah.
And you were home and you were doing your little dancey dance back in North Carolina.
Yeah, so I was back home in North Carolina helping my mom choreograph a Christmas show,
That's gonna be so
which
fun.
I'm actually going back to dance in December. So
you're going to leave again?
yeah, I'm sorry. And like we're trying to move into a new apartment too.
Yes. Season 2, baby.
Season 2, new characters. Some have left the cast. There's a lot going on.
Can't wait.
You know, we're happy to be here, happy to be back.
Yeah. And when we were thinking about like coming back for this podcast, we were like, what do we talk about? We have no stories. And so you made a list.
I did. I wrote on my phone, I said, podcast, what was it? Pod thoughts. But my phone auto-corrected it to hot sauce. Let me say that again. Hot sauce, you know, like Tabasco.
I think they get it.
Yeah, but I laughed. Anyways, so the list of podcast ideas are listed as hot sauce in my phone.
Good.
So anytime I have a podcast idea, I put it under the hot sauce folder.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Proud of you.
You good?
Another thing that I think is funny is that, just to be so transparent, I've gotten so many notes on our podcast that we giggle too much.
Guys,
so
we're
trying
funny
not
people.
to giggle.
But we're just funny
And it's
because
so
we don't
unnatural.
think we're funny, and then we just laugh.
I'm like, Ava, big girl voice and stop smiling.
I can't stop smiling. I like to be here.
See, I just giggled.
It's gonna happen
Anyways,
again. Oh my god.
I'm so excited for our guest today. He is a friend that we've had for only like a year. He's actually our reason for a lot of the things that we have on set. So I can't wait to talk about that with him
it's gonna be so
and everything.
exciting. And he's an actor. He's worked for several incredible networks. You guys can go look him up. I know that I'm excited to talk to him. I know you're excited to talk to him. So hold for sound.
Speed?
Let's roll.
Welcome back to the Hold for Sound podcast.
I'm Ava.
I'm Lauren.
And we have a very special guest.
That is
Reed.
Reed.
Oh, we're on now.
We're on right now.
Okay, hi. Support SAG-AFTRA.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I had to say that right off the
have
bat.
to.
You have to, no,
We're starting off
absolutely.
strong.
We're starting
Sorry.
off strong today. So, Reed, you're dressed absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
Can you talk
Same
to us
to you
about
guys.
what's going on here?
Who are you wearing?
That's such a weird question to get.
Have you ever gotten that question on the carpet? They're like,
Um,
who are you wearing?
Yeah,
Mr.
and I
Reed?
never have the answer because I don't know.
Okay.
You're like-
But so this was a gift from my stylist friend Veronica Gray. She so if you guys follow me on Instagram, I asked her to help design a suit for me for when we play live shows, and so what I wear live, she helped make that. But then I told her I was looking for places to buy more jumpsuits because I just got into jumpsuits randomly recently, and
Love
she was
that.
like, I have one that's been in my closet for like a year that I don't know what to do with, and it's your size. Do you want it? I'm like,
Yes.
yes.
It fits you like a glove. It looks
It's great.
I don't know a lot of guys who wear them, but for those that do, they get it.
Okay, so let's back up for a 2nd.
Mhm.
How did we meet?
That's a weirdly long but short story.
Yeah.
In that, so I had just started my second year of living out here. I was living in my new apartment. I think it was my second or third week in my apartment. I had just started to furnish it and, get all my stuff underway. But then it was Halloween, and I had nothing to do because all my friends were busy and they were at parties or had made plans, and like I had nothing to do. And I was like totally getting comfortable with the fact that like, I'm probably going to stay in for Halloween again for like the third year in a row. And then our friend Sasha reached out to me and he's like, hey, I have 2 friends. They're not doing anything on Halloween. They live down the street from you. We're going to go do stuff. And I was like,
That's us.
okay, awesome. And like, I didn't know you guys. So
Oh,
like,
well, I didn't really know Sasha at that point either. It was just like her and
I
Sasha.
knew Sasha
Okay.
and you knew Sasha. So Sasha called me and was like, he was like, what are you guys doing tonight? And we're like,
Nothing. Because we were talking about it. We're like, Ava, am I really going to do nothing for Halloween? And we just had been here for only like a month or 2.
Right.
We had no friends except for Sasha.
and so then we met you, and then from there, like we just all clicked.
for real.
He-
in
and you-
California Pizza Kitchen.
Yes.
At
Yes.
like 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, wow. I forgot about that.
And I made you make that awful TikTok where you're like blinking. It was like
The SpongeBob one?
The blinking
that's
TikTok.
right.
And like I didn't know you, but
Yeah.
I'm like, here, blink into the camera.
Well, but then the very
It
next
was
day,
such
we
a
spent
weird-
like
It
like
was so
way of
weird.
like starting to like interact with
Yeah.
like a new group of friends, because I was like, okay, we're getting close very fast.
And then remember the Leah Michelle TikTok that you made like a few days later? We went
Yeah.
to like
Oh,
Starbucks,
yes.
and you made this
That's
like
right.
the funny, what's the song from Don't Rain on My Parade?
Yeah, and I was
you
like running
would
down
not
Ventura.
stop singing it too.
Yes,
like
and
that,
you were like,
yeah.
I was like, here, record me, and like I was like
I
running
remember
down the
this.
streets. Don't tell me not to live, and then run, and then I jump, and we knew each other for less than 24 hours.
Yes.
And I did that.
Yeah, no, literally. That's really weird.
Isn't it?
That is really weird. I don't think I can describe that to like anyone else
Yeah.
and have them understand, because they're like, really, like you had known them for how long and you were already doing that? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, well, it just happened. Sasha
Yeah.
too. I mean, we would
Yeah.
sit there and like just like talk about life and like
Yeah. It
watch movies and
And get demolished at card games.
I know,
that
play
I don't want
games.
to play anymore.
Skippo.
I need to get you guys new card games,
Yes,
because that's all you
please.
have.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
I know.
I my pride has been hurt too many times.
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
like, I can't do this anymore.
But then our favorite thing one of my favorite things that has come of us was our jazz hands to you. And Ava kind of started that, didn't you?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's a frame right behind you, and it says "Jazz Hands to You."
That's so good.
Here's what happened.
Tell me.
It was Taco Monday. It wasn't Taco Tuesday. It was Taco Monday.
That happened at your house?
That was at my house.
Oh, I
Reed-
didn't remember
Yeah.
that.
So
You don't
Reed-
remember
No,
that?
I remember Taco Monday, but I don't remember that happened there.
It did.
Oh, yeah, because I remember I
Yeah.
just finished cooking and you guys were all
on the table.
on the table.
Yep.
Yeah, and you were
Talking
ranting.
Yeah, I'll
about
go into it.
a boy.
So what happened, pretty much, is Reed decided he was going to make us tacos, and he made us like this incredible. I mean, like you're a great cook. Like there was just like everything. It was
Hear that,
gorgeous,
Mom?
and the guacamole and everything.
Oh my gosh, you always make guacamole and it's great.
It's so
Thank you.
good. And
Thank
so we're over there at your house. This is still when we barely knew you. Maybe the second week we knew everybody. Third?
Yeah, maybe.
And we were playing Just Dance, and it was almost winter time and everything, and I had gotten this audition for a show, and I was supposed to fly to New York and audition, and I decided not to. And then I didn't get a call back. You know, I sent in a tape or whatever, and I had a boy that I was seeing at the time who did get the call back, got to go to New York, and I am all about supporting other people's wins, and so I just was like, jazz hands to you. Good for you. Jazz hands to you.
With an entirely different
Subtext.
in mind.
So that's just been our little thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you wrote it on a sticky note, and
I
it's
did.
on my fridge. Yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever we kind of jazz hands to you.
Jazz
Yeah.
hands to you.
Yeah.
I hope it's going good.
I've used that on other people, by
Oh, I
the way.
hope
yeah.
And like
so.
the amount of confusion it
They're like,
causes
"What are
in
you
them, they're
talking
like,
about?"
what does that mean? I'm like, you don't get it.
Well, I said it to one of I met a new friend a couple weeks ago. I said it to one of
My
them.
friend.
And that new friend, I had brought it up once, and then they said it to me like in conversation a couple days later.
It's a thing.
And I was
We're
like,
making it a
It's
thing.
spreading.
I am making it a thing.
Hashtag it.
Hashtag.
No, we did not.
That was awesome. Oh, I'm so glad I witnessed that. That was
No.
great. I'm a witness. This is awesome.
Hashtag jazz hands to you.
Reed, you're an actor. You were in big shows. It's been awesome to see your career start.
Thank you.
And like, take us back to like when you knew like, okay, film, like this is it. This is what I want.
Okay. I always get kind of shaky on this timeline because a lot happened very quickly.
Oh, I'm sure.
'Cause I think the apt age to say where it really kind of kicked off was somewhere, I think it was 12 or 13. Because at that point, I had been fencing competitively
I
for
forgot
like
about
4
that.
years up to that point. And it was getting to the point where it's like either you do this for the rest of your like young career and go on to like junior Olympics and so on and so forth. Like it was getting to that level, and I was getting pressure from my coaches to do that. And it still wasn't something that I wanted to do in that way, because for me it was just kind of an outlet. And I was still doing like little acting classes at the time for fun, and I had started doing plays, and I wanted to get into serious acting more because I had friends who had done it and had gotten some success. And I remember I had like a like practice that day, and I was like, you know what, today's the day, I'm gonna quit. and I like took my coach out to. I was thinking about this the other day, by the way. I took my coach to Wendy's. I bought him a Frosty, and I was like, "Hey," and I sat him down, and I was like literally 12 or 13 at the time, and I was like, "Hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I love this for what it's been and the people that I've met, but this is what my dream is, and this is what I want to do." And following that, like, there isn't a huge acting scene in Colorado, by the way.
Oh,
like, there's a
sure.
huge theater scene, but like film is not a thing over there. But a lot of actors come from Colorado, so there are a lot of like acting classes and things like that out there, and a lot of showcases that, you know, reps come to watch. And so I started like film acting classes in Colorado when I was 13, 14, you know, trying to figure out, because like I had only done theater up to that point, and that's a very different style of acting and a, you know, different school of thought. So started doing those, doing showcases, coming out to LA for pilot season back when like pilot season was kind of more of a thing. Rest in peace, pilot season. But
The Oakwood.
oh yeah, lived at the Oakwood
No
for like
way.
3 years, off and on.
I'm sure there are so many stories from
So
there.
many. All of them are horrific and not appropriate for podcast. That place is nuts, but I digress. Yeah, just kind of the young actor circuit where you're auditioning and meeting representation and all that kind of stuff. And I was really lucky enough to get representation pretty early on because I had I have to give credit where credit is due. Casting director by the name of Harriet Greenspan, who does a lot of things for a lot of kids television. She kind of mentored me a little bit and helped kind of get me ready for Hollywood and what it's like, because she has a lot of experience there. And from there, she introduced me to the man who would become my manager, because they were casting directors together in New York for a long time. And then he became a manager. And so she kind of set up that appointment for me. And immediately hit it off, and I knew it was a great fit. And from there, they recommended the people that would become my agent at A3. And after that, I had about, I think it was a good year and a half, 2 years of just auditioning with representation and, you know, getting close but not quite,
Right.
and almost there. And it wasn't until I was 16, summer before my junior year of high school, that I booked my first gig.
Yeah.
And that was
rest
the
is
one
history.
too. I think you were kind of like screen testing and chemistry reading for this other show.
Yes.
Found
yeah.
out you didn't book it, and the next day booked like your.
Yeah. So that was really funny because the first like I had my 2 first screen tests in the same week, which was
crazy.
nuts. And I didn't like. For those of you who don't know what a screen test is like, it's kind of terrifying. It's an audition on steroids, because everybody is there. Like, you know, the director's there, the casting people are there, the producers are there. If it's a network thing, then the network people are there, the studio people are there. Everybody's there. It's terrifying. But the first screen test was a 3-day screen testing process, which is kind of unheard of, because usually it's like a day session, but like it was 3 days all day. Because there was like music involved and like a
Right.
band and all this stuff. So there was a lot of kind of chemistry, you know, readings and, you know, putting different actors together and seeing what worked. Like it was a lot. But I was cut after the second day. Took it really hard because I really wanted that job.
Yeah.
On my break day, I was trying to kind of mentally reset for this next screen test. Went to jiu-jitsu that night. With my manager and a man who I consider like the closest thing I have to an older brother. And he's been working for a very long time. And he gave me this great advice in that when it comes to auditioning or a screen test or whatever, when it's the right job, you can't help but be right for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you can't help but book it because you just know it. And I didn't know what he meant, because like, you know, he had booked so many things. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means. And the very next day, I knew exactly what he was talking about. And I called him right after and I was like, you were so right. I know the feeling now. And he's like, you'll get it. And then later the next day, got the call. And I was like, you were right.
It was in like 24 hours. You screen tested, got the call.
Wow.
Yeah, the turnaround was really fast. I found out I went to a movie with my brother that was a horrible movie, but it was at the Chinese theater, and we just went to go because the hotel I was staying at was like down the street. Oh, I got all these phone calls in the theater, and I was like, ignore, I'm watching this right now, it's fine. And then I got back to the hotel, and I was like in the hotel conference room hallway when I actually took the call at like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Reed.
Priorities. I had a movie to watch.
Yeah, the movie.
You know what? It's okay. That's great.
That's such a cool story.
It's an expedited story. There's obviously a lot of
Yeah. And did you
parts in
know,
there, but-
had you read with the other actors or the cast that ended up being, or was like that screen test the first day you were?
That was the first. Yeah, it was kind of a chem read and a screen test all in one
Wow.
one go.
Wow.
They had like the main lead already cast.
Got it.
And so she came in to read with basically everybody else, and they were casting 2 characters at once, which were the 2 male leads. And so just kind of did a rotation with all those guys for the other role, and then because they were all really good, but it was kind of that thing where everybody in the chem read just had a very different style of acting, all looked very different, like they weren't going for a type or anything. So it was really anybody's race.
Wow.
And it was awesome too, because a lot of those guys I still see at auditions
That's really cool.
or bookings and other things like that. Like, it's good to know that they're still making it happen.
Yeah. Gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah. And you mentioned someone that you go to jujitsu with, and he's kind of like a mentor or
Yes.
just like somebody that you look up to and everything. And do you have any other influences like that helped you through this
Way
process?
too many.
Yeah.
Way too many. I feel like if anything, this industry has been like a constant adoption of mentors,
Totally.
because everyone has more experience than you, literally.
Yeah.
Like, that's just what it is. And you have to be in the mindset of someone who is learning all the time, because otherwise you get, like, I've seen a lot of actors who kind of get arrogant and they think that they got it all figured out, and then
absolutely.
they get humbled so
quickly, yeah.
But I have a lot, and I've been lucky to say that a lot of them have come from actually working on sets. But I would say one of the biggest, and I will call her out by name.
Do it.
Because she needs to know. Her name is Jodie Hawn. She was my first director in Hollywood. She is like my California mom, honestly. I love her so much. And she directed the pilot of my first show, along with quite a few episodes, just because, you know, those who direct the pilot kind of get to dictate the schedule going forward. And then she's been in kind of the sitcom circuit for a long time, and just doing various jobs, and, you know, working her way around from, you know, production and camera operation, all that stuff, to then being a director. And so as a result, she has a wonderful reputation in the industry, and so she got to direct quite a few episodes of my second show as well.
Oh, yeah. I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. And she has two kids. Yeah. And they're the same age as me. And so she gets it, because they're all kind of living on their own now. They're in college, and so she gets it. And so she's really close in contact with my mom. So whenever it's a Jodie week on set, then, you know, my mom is like up to speed on everything,
I love that.
like sending selfies and stuff. I love her so much, but she's brilliant and so efficient. Like, that's the thing about sitcoms too, is that, like, time is everything, and you're always behind. Always. And whenever she directs just for a minute, we're on time. So she, like, if you're on time in a sitcom, you know you're good, because she is that person.
Wow.
So
And Ava once made your second show be a whole week off time.
Oh my god.
this is true.
Guys.
I still get made fun of for it, actually.
No.
I do, yeah. Well, kind of for reasons out of your control, because I've been sick on this job twice, and I've shut down production twice.
Because he's that important.
But like, I shut down production on the pilot. Yeah, because I got COVID when COVID was like
Really
the
COVID,
quarantine
yeah.
was like when it was like COVID.
Wow.
And so I was in Alabama when I found out that I tested positive, and I had to fly from Alabama to LA, and then quarantine for 10 days. And so we had to delay production for a day.
And that was like before you guys got picked up, everything like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. And so everybody was stressed out and we had to film on a Saturday.
That sucks.
Yep. But that wasn't as bad as the second time where I put off production for a whole week.
Here's what happened. Lauren got strep.
Like twice within 10 days.
She got twice within 10 days. So no. So then we flew to New York. Lauren was better, but Lauren picked up another bug. Mm-hmm. Lauren picked up another illness, but it wasn't terrible. But when I got home, I picked it up, and I got it 3 times as bad as Lauren. I mean, I was hallucinating.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I was hallucinating?
Yeah.
And little Miss Ava was 17, and so she couldn't take herself to the doctor.
I couldn't go to the doctor. I couldn't get any help. So here I am, 17, hallucinating, falling over, like, in bed, like, crying, like, whatever. Eventually, I get someone to take me to the doctor. And the doctor tells me that I'm fine and I'm not contagious and there's nothing wrong with me. So I was like, okay. Yeah. So then Reed and I got dinner at Patty's.
That's right. Yeah, I was trying to think of like, where did that take place? Where was the exchange?
No, but the thing is, it was like 5 days after I was feeling better. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm definitely fine.
And then
Reed got really sick. Like, I remember.
But no, like, I would like to clarify. That was the weird thing. I had 0 symptoms. Like, physically,
oh, you just couldn't
I
talk.
felt fine, but I couldn't speak.
That's right.
It was the most bizarre thing I've ever experienced.
Right. Remember when my voice was gone? Do you remember that?
Yeah, because whatever sickness I had was like in my throat. Then whatever you got, and then wow.
I no sound could come out. It was the craziest thing, and I had to call into work to be like, "Hey, I can't talk. Let me see how I'm feeling later, and if I can come in late and still get my scenes done, please let me know." But I couldn't even say that.
Yeah, you couldn't even speak.
And so the health and safety guy in production was like, "Yeah, no, you got to take the day, man. Like, I don't see how you can come in." I was like, yeah, "No, that's fair. I understand." And so I ended up taking like 3 days.
I feel so guilty about that still to this day. Feels
Good.
So terrible.
See, I was like, no, Ava, you didn't get him sick. He probably just got sick by himself.
But yeah, in theory that could be true because the same bug was going around. Like everyone had it.
That's true. Yeah.
Remember, we knew like so many friends that had the exact same thing. So in theory, maybe I did get you sick, but
who knows? I mean, in hindsight,
pretty connected.
That was a great day for me because I literally just had tea and my humidifier on, and I ironed clothes and watched TV all day. It was awesome.
Sounds really good.
That's like such a vibe.
It was great. I will remember that day for a while. That was a great time.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Yeah, I feel bad about that.
Going on the bucket list. Ava shut down production.
Hey, you know what?
And you didn't even have to be there. That's the best part. You're like a ninja.
I know. Okay, so let's talk about your music for a second.
Okay.
So, yeah, tell us what you do and, like, talk about it.
Yes. So this is kind of new, actually. So aside from acting, I am a guitarist. I'm a musician. I'm a bit of a songwriter, a little bit. But I've been playing guitar for a long time, for quite a few years now, but never outside of the confines of my bedroom because, learning an instrument is a very
humbling experience.
For sure. I was going to say something else, but yeah, that's fair. But it takes a long time to learn and be in a place where you're comfortable to share that with people and then feel like you can hold your own in a band setting. And kind of out of nowhere in February of this year, Sasha reaches out to me and says that he's putting together a group to help perform some of the songs that he's written. And just like that, I was rehearsing with them. We were playing. I was learning these songs very quickly. And we had like all these shows booked in such a quick amount of time, but like spanning the next few months. And I was still working while this was happening. So we would have to have gigs like on Fridays and on Thursdays and on the weekends. And then when we weren't gigging, we were rehearsing, and I would have to drive from work to Culver City to rehearse. And that was such a really crazy whirlwind of a time to kind of like learn these songs so fast, get into the dynamic of learning how to be in a band, and learning how to not just listen to yourself but listen to other people and learn how to play off of them and just really get kind of engrossed in that completely different dynamic than what I was used to. And I took to it so fast. like it was such a nice outlet for me outside of work.
Right.
Because for those of you who are creative and kind of get where I'm going with this, where it's like creative burnout is such a real thing, and I always feel like I need something out of work to keep me kind of just on the level and just relaxed and just feel like I'm still creating and have the freedom to do what I need to do to express myself. And so that was perfect, and it was so nice. And we got to play really, really amazing shows for great audiences.
Sold out the Troubadour.
I was going to get to that. I was going to kind of like build up. We did. We sold out the Troubadour.
Yeah.
That's like
July 18th.
insane.
It was so much fun.
I still haven't fully processed it, in all honesty, because I've been a couple times since playing there, and it's really weird to be back after playing there, especially when it's bands that you go to that you really admire, that you take so much inspiration from, and you find out after that they didn't quite sell it out, and you're like,
how?
What?
How did
Because
they
they're
not? Yeah.
amazing, and then you think about how lucky we were to have actually pulled that off. Like, everything went right.
Ugh.
It just all went according to plan. And oh man, like, I love that show so much. Like,
I just remember us being there, like standing in that front row, like screaming at you.
Yeah,
guys.
that's the first time I met your little brother.
that's right. Yeah, my family
And we
came
were
out.
just sitting there.
I love your brother so much. Lane, he is like, you guys are like twin flames. Like the way you listen to music,
It's
how you
very
guys
true.
act together. Like, it is so cool to see a brotherly relationship like that.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, we talk about this a lot, but like when he moves out, because he's gonna move out.
Oh, good.
He is the only person that I'm ever comfortable being
A
my
roommate
roommate
with,
for like
yeah.
as long as foreseeably possible.
Wow.
Just because we have very kind of complementary dynamics where like I'll do some of the jobs around the house that he won't do, and vice versa. But we also know how to kind of keep each other sane, if that makes sense, because we have our own things that we fall short on. We have our own insecurities and things that we struggle with, same as anybody. But like, he knows the things to say to psych me out of that, and then me in return.
Oh, that's cool.
And plus, when you have like the same influences, the same humor, the same upbringing, it's just easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that kid. He's
how
so
does
cool.
how does he feel about you playing a supervillain on TV?
He's proud, but at the same time, I don't think he cares. Like
I mean, it's a little out of his age range.
a little bit. Yeah, he's 16.
Definitely is.
But
like-
did your little brother ever watch his show?
No, because we don't have cable in the mountains.
Oh,
that's
my older
fair.
sister watched your first show.
Yes,
and
yeah.
was like, "Wait, I know that
But
guy."
that was for a bit of an older audience.
Yeah,
100%.
it was.
Gosh.
Yeah. I don't like. I mean, I don't know. He's a junior in high school, trying to make his own way and find his path that works for him, and kind of make his own mark in acting and music, being a drummer. And so he's like, yeah, I see it enough. Like, yeah, Reed's doing his thing. I get it. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
I'm trying to prove myself.
That's
And
such
you
a
know
little
what?
sibling thing.
Yeah.
It totally is. And at the same time, I want that for him. If anything, I want to be telling people about what Lane is doing
Yeah.
rather than whatever I'm doing. Because
That's
when
awesome.
people ask me about like work and stuff, I kind of get closed off to it unless they're also in the industry, because they get it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I just don't talk about it. And I'd rather talk about my siblings and what they're doing, because they're insane.
And I didn't know you had a little sister. I actually recently
And
found that out.
she is so sweet.
She just turned 10.
So does she watch your
couple
show?
days ago. She does. Yes. She does. Yeah, but she had her 10th birthday on the 10th.
Oh,
Yeah.
golden birthday.
Golden birthday.
Yes,
Wow.
I will never forget mine. I was 12 on the 12th.
I will forget mine because I was 1
Uh-oh.
on the first.
Yeah.
And yours is not yours. Did yours just happen? No.
I was
No.
born on the 7th. Ava.
Yeah.
So it happened a long
I thought
time
you
ago.
were born February 20th. You're not. You're born February 7th. Wow. Sorry.
Exposed. Doesn't know my own
Exposed.
birthday.
Doesn't know her birthday.
He turned 20 on the 7th.
Oh, you're gonna turn 21.
You're gonna be. Oh my god. What a year.
That's nuts.
I think it's crazy that we met you when you were 19.
Yeah,
I was 17.
Wow.
I
I'm
know.
19.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
I am the oldest.
Yeah.
For those of you
He's
who
the
are
older
not
brother.
the oldest in a friend group, it's so worth it. Being the oldest is great.
How's the youngest feel?
Yeah, what's that like?
You know?
child.
Can you go to the doctor now?
Yes, I just
Take
turned
the
18. I
ridicule.
can do whatever I want. No,
Yes, you can. Yes, you
I
can.
can. I can.
Strong, independent woman. You got it.
Well, it's funny because we're applying for an apartment, and there wasn't enough credit history on me
Right, yeah.
for me to get like through the verification process.
course,
So I had
yeah.
to call the union and figure that out and everything. And I did that yesterday, and they told me that I'm trying to steal somebody's identity.
Sorry?
Yeah, apparently it's not me. I'm like, yes, it is. I can promise you that.
If anyone would be an identity thief, I totally see it. I'm joking. I'm fully joking. I am fully joking.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, there were some problems. I will never forget too. You guys helped me out a lot when I was like 17 trying to figure things out. Reed,
We
for
help
one.
you now, still.
What
Yeah.
did I do?
You
Absolutely nothing.
well, I don't know. I mean,
Just like, never mind.
I mean, I don't know. You live with her, so you probably do way more than I do.
I go,
Well-
Ava, do the dishes.
Yeah, right?
One time I was working on Rodeo Drive, and Reed drove me down
That's
to
right.
set.
Yeah. This was
And
like right before Christmas break.
Right
too.
before Christmas
Yeah.
break, I flew home from set, but Reed drove me down to Beverly Hills and
At like
late at night.
Like 12, 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, night
My
shoot.
call time was like 1 in the morning,
Yep.
and I worked till like.
The things
Night
I
shoots
do.
are really fun.
Yeah, they're fun.
Not in my experience, but you know what? To each their own.
I mean, how many on sitcoms? How many night shoots would like you do?
Never.
Yeah,
Well,
and, like-
we would go late. Like we could go till like midnight. But I have done night shoots before for like commercials and things like that.
And you did that promo at
That counts as well.
the Land of the Mouse.
Yes. And my call time was at like we didn't wrap till 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
So that does
Yeah,
count.
gosh, that seemed fun though.
And we
was cool.
kind of talked about this when you brought this up when we were talking a few weeks ago. Like, how is it sharing with other shows with people your age?
It's kind of weird, to be honest, because we would stagger a lot. So they started. So we had neighbors for going into season 2, and they started production while we were on our hiatus. So they were halfway done with their season
wow.
when we started production on season 2, and so because of COVID regulations and safety and all that stuff, we couldn't really intermingle a lot because that's separate crews, and they had to keep everybody kind of looked after and accounted for to make sure that no exposure happened if anything were to happen. So we would only see them like outside at lunch. But our production crew went to that show during our off season, and they came back to our show. So they were
Gotcha.
really close with that cast, but we didn't really know them. But we'll still see them at like events and things like that, and like there will be like a kinship there because it's like, oh, we were neighbors, and it's cool.
Cute.
And like on any of the other shows on the network, like there is like kind of a sense of removal from because like we don't know
You
them
know
as
them.
well, or we
Yeah.
weren't on the same set or whatever. So yeah, it's kind of cool to have that.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have one last thing to ask you.
Okay.
And just for young artists, what is one thing that you would really recommend doing, and something that you maybe wouldn't recommend?
Man. Okay. I am a big believer in taking knowledge that I get from other people and passing it forward. So I'm going to do that.
Please.
And I will name drop again.
Please.
Because the people who need credit deserve the credit. My co-star Malachi's dad, Lauren, is one of the, I would say, wisest people that I know. And I learned that about him very quickly when we started working together. And he gave me a really, really great bit of advice when I was really stressed out about something a while back. And he works in music mostly, but this is kind of like fully encapsulating of the creative experience. And he said, approach your career with open hands, always. Because with that, things can be taken away, but then leave room for things to then come to you. Because as people in society, we cling to the things that are safe and the things that we have or the things that we want or whatever our expectations are. And when we cling on to those, we're closed off to opportunities that come that might be better for us in the long run. And I'm guilty of that. Like I've had so many times where like I didn't want to take a chance on something that didn't seem safe rather than try to force something to work that even subconsciously I knew wasn't going to. And so I would say practice the constant battle of learning to just kind of let go a little bit and just let things be the way that they're going to be. That's not to say to just do nothing, because at the same time, do everything you need to do that is within your control, because there is a line. But once you reach that line of like things that start to get out of your control, then you just have to stand back and let it happen and see where it goes.
That's a great piece of
It's worked quite a bit, honestly.
Yeah.
It's helpful to remind myself of that, because I wrote it down and I still go back to it every now and then.
Yeah.
But it was good, and
Yeah,
it's helpful.
control what you can control. That's what my mom would always say.
Yeah.
Control only what you can.
Exactly. And if not, this is another good one. I have two. Sorry.
Please.
Not to go over time, but I have two. It's that, and then my friend Abigail gave me this little nugget of wisdom for the times that things are bad and that are out of your control. Remind yourself that it's this or better.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that.
This or better. I say it all the time now, especially because it's like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's this or better.
Cool.
There's always room for improvement, and it'll come.
Wow.
This or better.
This or better.
This
Yeah.
or better. Good.
I
Okay,
have to
and
spread that
then
wisdom.
something you would recommend, not.
Wouldn't recommend.
Yeah.
Oh man. I would say I would. There's like weirdly specific things that I wouldn't recommend in the industry, but to keep it as open and
Don't talk to this person and this
safe-
person. Just kidding.
Oh no, that's totally real. That's so real. And like if you want a list of those people, I can give you that list. But no,
Email us. Just
yeah,
kidding.
right. No, I would say never ever under any circumstances stop being a student. And I don't mean that in the academic sense. I mean that in the sense of like in a creative field, always realize that you have more to learn, because if not, then you're going to be arrogant and you're going to think that you have it all figured out, and you're going to go into it like you're the boss.
Yeah.
And
No one knows anything.
no one
actually.
knows anything, and you will get humbled, because there's always going to be someone with more experience than you.
Exactly.
And I would rather learn from those people than
Yes.
than not. Even if it's a bad experience, you still learn from that.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that than think I have it all figured out.
Sure.
and go into it, cocky, and then fall flat on my face. So
Good. Okay.
And there you have it.
And there you have it, friends.
boom.
Where can people find you?
Can find me on Instagram.
My address is just kidding.
Oh no. God. You would know.
I would.
You can find me on Instagram. It's just my name, all lowercase, Reed Horstmann. That's it. Pretty simple. And I have other social media, but I don't give
IMDb
those
pro
out.
him.
Or yeah, you can IMDb me if you want. There's not a lot there.
Star
but
meter.
Yeah. Raise that star meter.
Raise that star meter,
Raise
guys.
that star meter.
We're trying to get bookings here.
Okay. Thank you so much, Reed.
Thank you,
That is
Reed.
Thank
that.
you so much.
We
for
love
having me.
you.
I love you guys.
Oh, we love you.
Jazz hands to you.
Jazz hands to you.
And that's a wrap.
That's right.
That was so smooth, guys.
That was so
great.
great. Oh, that was a good one.
I